It's a spectacular Saturday for college football here in Huntington, West Virginia, as Marshall's Thundering Herd back home at Edwards Stadium for the first time in nearly a month. Today they face an impressive East Division rival in Old Dominion. The Monarchs are riding a 4-game win streak, and we welcome you into Edwards Stadium. Keith Morehouse, Mark Martin, pleased to be joined by you this afternoon. What a day for football. And when you talk, Mark, about Old Dominion, 4-1, they've won 4 games in a row, maybe the most impressive Monarchs team we've seen.
Yeah, and they gave Indiana all they wanted in that season opener. In fact, Ricky Ronnie felt they were the team that should have won the football game. So they come in here now trying to win a game in Huntington, and certainly Marshall needs a big win here today.
In fact, they've never won here in Huntington, Mark. And when you look at the players to watch, pretty obvious on the Old Dominion side. Their quarterback, Colton Joseph, has been lights out. He is the guy that makes him go. 12 touchdown passes this year. He can run it. Also, he's got a guy on the other side of the ball, as you look at the players to watch, Mark, that impact both teams.
Yeah, no doubt about Joseph, a kid out of California, and coming off an impressive game against Coastal. He was 17 of 30, 315 yards, career high, 4 touchdowns. He can run it too. He had a 50-yard touchdown run. Jerome Carter, again, coming off a 12-tackle performance against Coastal. And of course, for Marshall, Floyd Lacey, he's been spectacular this season, Keith.
He has. He and Marshall's quarterback Carlos Del Rio Wilson have formed quite a combination at quarterback and wide receiver. And in the last 3 games where Carlos Del Rio Wilson has started, Mark, Marshall's averaged 44 points per game.
Yeah, there have been a lot of guys on the defensive side, too, that have turned in outstanding performances this season as well, Keith. And Paul Hudson III is one of those, a transfer from Austin Peay. He had 7 tackles on the season, but a huge 46-yard interception touchdown return against Louisiana. That big fella was getting down the field there in Lafayette.
Big man touchdown indeed. A beautiful afternoon for football, as we mentioned, here in Huntington, West Virginia. Sunny, about 73 degrees, and we expect a good one here. Last 2 years, these games have been shootouts, both in Norfolk and in Huntington. Ricky Ronnie, 5th season as head coach, actually his 6th season in Norfolk. But the first year was 2020. It was a COVID year, so he didn't coach, as ODU didn't play that year. And for the Marshall Thundering Herd, of course, Tony Gibson is the head coach in his first season. 2-3 on the season, and Old Dominion 4-1. And we're about ready to go as Marshall will receive the kickoff. That is fielded inside the end zone. They're going to bring it out and cut down at the 17-yard line, where Marshall will take over on offense. Herd coming off a week break after that tough overtime loss at Louisiana. And let's go downstairs to our sideline reporter, Ben Westfall, who's appropriately dressed this afternoon.
Thanks, Keith. Well, talking about both teams, our head coach Ricky Ronnie said earlier in the week, talking about getting votes for the first time in the coaches poll for the top 25. He said, to me, we're just focused on going on 1-0. To me, that's not a big thing. Just focus on the preparation and get better each week to see where that can lead us. Now, you talk about Old Dominion and Colton Joseph, the quarterback. That rushing attack for Old Dominion, 302 yards on the ground for the Monarchs last week. Now, 2 weeks ago for Marshall, allowed 264 yards on the ground. We'll see what happens there in the ground game today. Now, on Marshall's side, head coach Tony Gibson talked about quarterback Colton Joseph, said, pick your poison when trying to get after him, and we don't get after him. Just try to be careful, and defense has to stop the ground and also clean up the penalties. 12-1 2 weeks ago at Louisiana. The penalties have to get cleaned up for Marshall. Back up to you guys up in the booth.
Thank you, Ben. Marshall with a first down off a Michael Allen run after a completion to Floyd Lacey. So the Herd with its first down of the game on the first drive of the game. Mark, this could turn into a shootout the way these quarterbacks play.
Yeah, you talk about Michael Allen there, Keith, coming off some nice games for the Thundering Herd against both Middle and Louisiana.
1st and 10 now. Herd keeps it on the ground. Little run outside. Picks up about 3 yards for Allen before he's cut down. Had 139 yards last week. Tackle made by Jerome Carter. Mark talked about him in the open. He's one of their playmakers on defense.
Jerome Carter made the stop. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Give him 3 on first down. So the Herd was 2nd and 7. Setting up at their 31-yard line. Allen goes in motion. Del Rio Wilson over the middle. Ball was tipped.
Del Rio Wilson.
Tipped and then caught by the QB.
That's Carlos Del Rio's first reception. You don't want those kinds of receptions, Mark.
23, third down.
Yeah, Chris Trinidad got his hand up there, and typically you want to bat that one down. Now that sets up the herd behind the sticks, third down. And they've got to get out to the 38-yard line for a first.
And Trinidad, an all-conference performer.
They go underneath, and it was to Floyd Lacey. The normally sure-handed Lacey can't hang on, so that sets up fourth down, and the herd will have to punt.
Well, Floyd Lacey is a guy that feels each time he gets his hands on the ball, he can take off and go with it and take it to the end zone. And he might have been thinking about that right there.
He had some good blocking, it looked like, downfield, Mark. So, yeah, he is very dangerous with the ball. A former running back in high school, and he's a threat for the Thundering Herd. Easterly is back deep to receive the punt from Nathan Totten. Nearly got a hand on it, did ODU. Ball, though, floats down to the 41-yard line, where Easterly had to cover it after he bobbled it just a bit. So Old Dominion gets good field position on its first series.
One of the guys who has certainly been a weapon this season for Marshall from a special teams aspect has been Nathan Totten.
So we are scoreless in the early going here in Huntington, West Virginia. Marshall and ODU, the Monarchs with the football, as we're going to keep it here. And Colton Joseph, can't say enough about what he's done this year, Mark. He's been a spectacular talent. They average nearly 500 yards a game, and they can get you in a bunch of different ways, spread you out from sideline to sideline. Joseph wants to throw on first down. He's looking to his target. He's out there, and it is a catch. Wow, what a play. Ja'Cory Thomas on the grab as the Monarchs go deep on first down.
Well, nothing fancy, just run him straight down the sideline and floated up there, and just beautiful pass.
Monarchs keep it on the ground. That's Traquan Jones, the running back, gets pretty good yardage on first down inside Marshall's 10 to the 8-yard line.
Takes the ball inside the 10.
Paul Hudson the third on the stop.
Jalil Rivera Harvey makes the stop, second down.
.47-yard hookup from Colton Joseph to Thomas. Joseph averages 15 yards per completion, so they've got some home run hitters on this side of the ball. This time Joseph can keep it, and he can get outside, but a great tackle there on the edge. Boogie Trotter comes up to make the stop. You got to keep your eyes on Joseph for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Number one gets number one, and Boogie Trotter has been picking off some passes this season, guaranteed a fourth for this game, and a good job there. That's the 26th time Joseph's ran the football against Marshall. 25 carries last year.
Third down and 8 to go for the Monarchs. Jones is the tailback. High snap. Joseph gets a hold of it, gives it inside. Jones down to about the 4-yard line, where he's just a bit shy of the first down marker.
Great job there by the quarterback. Bobbled that there for a moment, but collected himself and gets it into the hands of Jones.
Fourth down and 2 for Old Dominion.
So it'll be 4th and 2, and it looks like Ricky Ronnie going to keep the offense on the field. Why not with this quarterback you have? Traquan Jones is the tailback. Joseph's going to keep it, and he pushes ahead. Not sure he got there. And they're going to mark him a little bit short. Jamal Weiss. That's a big-time stop for Marshall's defense.
And no doubt about it, they hit that big 47-yarder to begin the game offensively. And Tony Gibson's prevent unit comes up big against the Monarchs.
Big stop for Weiss in the Herd defense as Marshall gets it back when we come back to Edwards Stadium. defense at its own 3-yard line. A little inside handoff. Gain of about 4 yards. 3 maybe for Michael Allen. Had 139 yards rushing last week, or 2 weeks ago, in that loss at Louisiana.
Ball at the 7. Second down.
Tony Gibson coming into this game really wanting to see improvement from his defense. He had that big play by Boogie Trotter to start it, and then Weiss with the stop.
Del Rio Wilson moves the pocket, completes the pass. Catch is made by DeAndre Tamarez.
First down.
Botras Alessandro on the stop.
DeAndre Tamarez makes that reception.
Well, there are a lot of guys that Marshall can deliver that football to, and Tamarez, with a lot of talent out of Western Carolina.
This time a little pitch outside. That's Allen, gets out over the 20. Gang tackled by the Monarchs defense.
Michael Allen with the carry. Takes the ball over
Gain of
the
about
20
2.
to about the 22.
Seth Noatola on the stop.
Well, Allen, incredibly fast. Tony Gibson knew him well from NC State.
He goes in motion, and he'll get the pass out there. Little block, he slips one tackle, gets out close to first down yardage to the 28-yard line. It'd be 3rd and 1 for the Herd.
Rio Wilson's pass complete.
They had Tamarez and Lacey out there
3rd down and 1 for the Herd.
trying to open it up for him.
He's still on the stop.
This ODU defense, stingy last week in that dominating win over Coastal Carolina, only gave up 189 yards. Herd's been moving it a little bit in their first 2 possessions. Toby Payne goes in motion to give up inside, and that's a first down. Tony Mathis on the carry for the Herd. Mario Easterly on the stop.
Takes the ball to the 30 and Marshall first down. Jeremy back on the stop.
Mark, in the early going, you got to believe that Tony Gibson and offensive coordinator Rod Smith would love nothing better to keep the ball away from Joseph in that offense, and they've done a nice job in these first 2 drives.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Keith.
Del Rio Wilson escapes, does a nice job of improvisation, and finds Floyd Lacey after the 48-yard line.
First down.
Steiger on the stop out there.
Here's what Carlos Del Rio Wilson can do for you. He buys time and then gets it into the playmaker Lacey's hands.
Yeah, does a nice job of ad-libbing and says he really has fun out there playing quarterback. You could tell. Hurt gives it inside. I believe that's Antoine Roberts on the carry.
Antoine Roberts with the carry.
Gain of about 3 yards on first down.
Antoine Roberts, another back for Marshall. You know, they've got a plethora of backs, and, you know, they've utilized them. Of course, they've had some guys injured, nicked up, and, you know, when it's your turn, you get out there and give it your all. Roberts looked good against Middle Tennessee a few weeks ago.
Yeah, both these schools use a number of backs. Each about 4 of them will see action. Roberts stays in and Payne goes in motion. They send it out to the big guy. Nice stop out there. Tackle made
Toby Payne with that reception
by Zion Frink, who was step for step with Toby Payne.
46, gain of 3. Frank on the stop. 3rd down and 5 for Marshall.
What is it that Ricky Ronnie said about Toby Payne? Feels like he's been playing Marshall for 113 years. Such an incredible weapon.
Big 3rd and 5 here for the Herd on the Old Dominion side of the field. Five wide for the Herd, including tight end Toby Payne. Quick delivery to Ben Turner. He stops short of the first down. Gets down to the 44-yard line.
Down to the 44.
So decision time for Tony Gibson. Davon Isles on the stop, and he's going to kick it away. Probably a good idea not to take a gamble and maybe give it back to ODU this close to midfield.
Get it into the hands of Ben Turner. They really like those quick passes to Ben Turner in the past few weeks. A kid that transferred into Marshall from Division II West Liberty, a local kid. Made his presence felt this season, but another punt for Totten.
Devin Roche stands at his 10-yard line. This one over his head, and Totten gets a nice little backspin on that one, and the Herd downs it at the 10-yard line.
Around the 10-yard line.
So Old Dominion and that Colton Joseph offense set to take back over. We're scoreless in Huntington in the first quarter. Marshall and Old Dominion meeting for the 11th time, and the Herd has dominated this series 9-1, certainly in wins and losses, but a lot of these games have been close ones. You see the first meeting, Mark. They 42-35 last year, 41-35 the year before, and the Monarchs have never beaten Marshall here.
Never have beaten them here, and of course had a great quarterback there in 2012, 2013, 2014, and Taylor Heineke, who made it onto a lot of NFL rosters.
And this guy just as electric. Colton Joseph, sophomore from California. Sets him up on first down. Now he wants to throw over the middle. It is intercepted. Boogie Trotter. He's got some blockers. Trotter looking to the end zone. Touchdown. Boogie Trotter.
He promised a fourth in the media conference this week, and there it is. I don't think he said it would be a pick six. He just said, I'm going to get a fourth interception. There you go.
The kids call this swag, Mark, when you can call it right. He just got up, got some blocking, and got to the house. Boy, what a play by Boogie Trotter.
Well, your defense stopping ODU near the goal line, and now a pick and a score. Toby Payne hustling to get out there.
Lorcan Quinn on to add the extra point. His kick is up, and it is through. So Marshall with some lightning on defense, as Boogie Trotter picks off Colton Joseph and takes it to the house. Herd leads it early here in Huntington, 7-0. Marshall President Brad Smith, his wife Elise, getting recognized here, and you see why. $50 million to Marshall for All campaign. Largest personal contribution by a sitting president to their own institution. And the impetus of that is to make sure students graduate debt-free. Man, what an enterprise.
Yeah, they are just sensational and mean so much to this university, to this area. And President Smith, he does it all, Keith. He even straightened a pylon down there a little bit earlier.
I don't know how the man sleeps. He's everywhere. So Lorcan Quinn on to kick it off as the Herd takes the early lead. And that goes over the head of Mark-I James, and now Colton Joseph and that ODU offense come back out. The Monarchs, Mark, really have been the talk of the Sun Belt earlier this year. Obviously, they beat Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, gave Indiana all they wanted. They sit atop the East with JMU, who just beat Louisiana. So the Dukes playing some good football as well.
Yeah, it was a good game there in Harrisonburg as they knock off the guys from Lafayette, Louisiana. Now Old Dominion will try to recover, Keith, from the pick six by Boogie Trotter.
Just the 5th interception that Joseph has thrown this year. 1st and 10 now from the 25. A little check with me on the sideline, and now he's ready to go. The play action. He's going deep again. His receiver was out there, but he overthrew him. Intended for his wideout, Naeem Abdul-Rahim Gladding, the leading receiver on this team. 22 catches, averages 13 yards per catch, and this is his favorite target. He was open.
He got a little step there on Cam Smith, who has been playing outstanding football for Marshall this season.
Second and 10. for the Monarchs. 4 wide. Smith is showing blitz, and he backs off, but they swallow him up in the pocket. Joseph goes down.
Colton Joseph is sacked.
Tyus Martin was there.
Josh Pierre-Louis.
And Josh Pierre-Louis. Kerryon Martin, too. Big play on defense now. 3rd and 15 for the Monarchs. Joseph taking his time back there. Here comes pressure, and he just hands it off, and the Herd defense is there and on it. Martin was there along with Braden Ward. And Mark, good time to bring up, we had a conversation with Tony Gibson this week. He's taken over the defensive calls in this game. What his biggest frustration with at Louisiana was the inability to adjust to the quarterback Lunch Winfield, and so he is calling the game from down on the field.
Yeah, Lunch Winfield came in, played spectacular for the Raging Cajuns. So 2 young men there from the Kanawha Valley here in West Virginia, Keith, and Kerryon Martin and Braden Ward there on the stop for the Thundering Herd, forcing this punt.
Ian Brandt was on to kick it. Marshall nearly got it, or maybe got a piece of it, not sure. But it takes an Old Dominion bounce down to the 41-yard line, where the Herd will have pretty good field position. So Marshall's defense coming to play here so far. 3:11 to go in the first quarter. Herd leads at 7-0. And they're ringing the bell here for Nikki Stratton, the breast cancer survivor, on this pink out afternoon here in Huntington. Well, that's as good a highlight as we'll see all day long, Mark.
I tell you what, Keith, it's almost hard to even speak when you see that. All of us in some form or fashion, our lives have been touched by a loved one, a friend with cancer, and God bless that lady for her survival.
There's a Herd run play down to the 46-yard line. Michael Allen back in the game, stopped by Jaleel Colbreth.
Takes it over the 45, goes to a 5-yard gain.
So the Herd kind of dictating the tempo here this afternoon thus far.
Good hard running there by Allen. Wrapped up by Jaleel Colbreth.
They give him 4 on first down. Del Rio Wilson to throw. Finds a seam and drills it into Toby Payne, who somehow hung on. He got belted. Zion Frank.
Well, Toby Payne, tough as nails, and he can take those big hits. He's physical. He runs those great routes. He's got the soft hands. I need to stand corrected too. I said Ricky Ronnie said 123 years. Keith, it was actually 142 that Payne has been playing.
That time Del Rio Wilson went to the quick slant to Adrian Norton, just a little bit too tall. So 2nd and 10 now from the 34-yard line.
Norton had that big TD catch in overtime that kept that game going with Louisiana. Marshall on 4th down, had to have it. And he hauled in the Del Rio Wilson catch. Couldn't snag that one, though.
2nd and 10. Allen is the tailback. Payne goes in motion. They fake it inside, throw it over the middle, and it was nearly intercepted. Broke it up out there by McKendry Steiger. Did a nice job on defense there.
Yeah, excellent. Just about had himself that football in his hands. Del Rio Wilson is getting the time, Keith, to spot those receivers and deliver it. Good job by that offensive front for the Thundering Herd.
3rd and 10 here, and you wonder if Rod Smith's going to call 2 plays in case they don't get the first down. Although Quinn has the leg to kick a field goal. Del Rio Wilson had Tamaraz in his sights, but he couldn't hang on.
Wilson's pass incomplete. It was intended.
Oh, DU bringing some good heat there, so you've got to let go of that baby pretty quick. And just out of the hands there, Tamaraz, and Quinn's ready to show off that leg, Keith.
This will be a 51-yarder.
Morgan Quinn attempting a 51-yard field goal for the Herd.
He's got a 53-yarder to his credit. 2 of 3 from beyond 50 yards. So there's no doubt he can get it there. Good spot. Kick is up. Kick is
Up.
no good.
No good.
Plenty of leg from Quinn, the kicker from Donoughmore, Ireland. Figured out American football, isn't he?
Yeah, sure is. A good stop there by ODU, forcing the field goal opportunity there for Marshall, and they're unable to convert that. So ODU trailing 7-0 here, and they want to get this dynamic offense that they possess coming in here for Norfolk untracked. Hit a big one early, Keith, 47-yarder.
So Colton Joseph and the Monarchs take over on offense. They've got it at the 34-yard line. Joseph's going to keep it himself this time. And once again, he's got company on the outside. Good stop by Caleb Clark-Glover on defense.
Well, it appeared that Joseph and Traquan Jones kind of ran into each other there, just wasn't sure.
So second down. Loss of 1 there. Joseph in trouble again and cannot escape. Gets back to the initial line of scrimmage. Marshall's defense really flying around, making sure they keep an eye on Joseph.
Josh Pierre-Louis wrapped him up there for the stop.
3rd and long now. And we got flags as someone jumped prematurely.
False start. Offense.
So it's on Old Dominion to send him back to 3rd and about 15.
Keith Joseph averages about a first down every time he touches the football from a running standpoint.
Tied for the lead in the nation with yards per carry. He's dangerous, but the Herd has him bottled up so far here this afternoon. Joseph wants to throw. The Herd brings regular pressure. Oh, and it's caught right past the defender. Touchdown ODU. How about that one? Trey Brown to the end zone.
Yeah, Brown slipping behind the secondary, and once he hauled that in, no one close to bringing him down.
Defensive back tried to get in. Boogie Trotter just couldn't get up and tip it away, and Brown goes in for the touchdown. 71 yards. His 2nd touchdown catch of the season. Riley Callahan on to try to tie this up. And he boots it up and through. So we've got some lightning on offense and defense here in Huntington, West Virginia, as the Monarchs answer the Thundering Herd score.
Well, the Monarchs limiting Marshall to that field goal try, and the Thundering Herd coming up short. Turn it over, and boy, they were doing a great job on Joseph, and he steps back there and fires one, and catch made by Trey Brown. Brown had a career-long 49. Now he's topped that one, Keith, with that 71-yard score. He was the special teams player of the week in the Sun Belt earlier this season. Had a block punt, a safety. He's a guy who can do a little bit of everything, and right there, he latches on to his 2nd touchdown reception of the season.
That was one of the question marks for Ricky Ronnie coming in with the wide receiver room. Abdul Rahim Gladding was the leading returning with 2 catches. And so he goes and gets Brown and Ja'Cory Thomas from Hutchinson Junior College. And they have been lights out this year.
Kick into the end zone for a touchback.
That one goes over the head of Xavier Turner Bradshaw, so the hurdle get it at the 25-yard line back on offense.
It's been a quick first quarter here as the Monarchs and Thundering Herd battle for the 11th time. So Carlos Del Rio Wilson and company ready to head back out there, now even at 7-all.
Thirteenth touchdown pass of the season for Colton Joseph. And so Marshall now tries to answer on offense. There's the give to Michael Allen, tries left side, got good room. Allen steps outside, gets to about the 38-yard line. That's first down yardage.
Marshall, first down.
Zion Frink on the stop. But Allen got ahead of steam there.
And Michael Allen picking up right where he left off there in Louisiana. There's Marshall coming off that open date.
Del Rio Wilson's going to keep it this time. Slips a couple of tackles, picks up about 4 yards out to the 39-yard line.
With the keeper, gets about 3 yards up to the 39.
Lucas Struck on the stop for the ODU defense.
Struck coming off a 6-tackle outing against Coastal.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Started his career at Iowa Western. And I think we've come to a close here in the first, Keith.
We have indeed a beautiful afternoon for football here in Huntington, West Virginia, and we are tied up at 7 apiece as the Monarchs respond with a touchdown strike. Marshall with a boogie trotter INT for a score. We're back with second quarter action after this. The nation's leader in passing efficiency, Carlos Del Rio Wilson, getting set to continue the drive for the Thundering Herd. His numbers have been outstanding, and as we mentioned, the 3 games he started, the Herd's averaged 44 points a game. Toby Payne in motion. Quick look out there to Floyd Lacey, and ODU's defense is all over that one.
Yeah, just a quick hitter there to Lacey, and a lot of white jerseys surrounding. Going back to Del Rio Wilson, your 4 touchdown passes, ran for another in that Middle Tennessee game. Davey O'Brien Award, grade 8 for week 4, and Sunbelt Conference Offensive Player of the Week.
Lucas Struck among the tacklers in on that one. 3rd and 6 for the Herd at the 40-yard line. Del Rio Wilson's pressured. He gets rid of it, and he completes it. What a play out to midfield as he finds Floyd Lacey. That's all Carlos Del Rio Wilson.
Keith, that is just simply never giving up on a play. They say never give up, and he did not. He just stood there in all kinds of traffic, kept those eyes down the field, and fires into the hands of Lacey.
Yeah, kept his composure, and there's a little fake, and that's completed. Allen out of the backfield. Michael Allen, touchdown Thundering Herd.
Just that little stutter step and froze him, and Allen takes it in.
49-yard score. Mark, the ironic part of that is that's a play ODU has run twice this year. Ran it against Indiana, and it resulted in a touchdown.
They're looking, acts as though he's going to take off with it, and then stops. And boy, that was just a smooth sailing into the end zone for Allen.
206-pound redshirt junior from Greenville, North Carolina, gets it done through the air with Del Rio Wilson. And the Herd's back out in front. Lorcan Quinn on to add the extra point. And it's through the uprights. Couple of big-time passes here by Joseph and now Del Rio Wilson as Marshall retakes the lead 14-7. You're watching Sunbelt Football on ESPN+. 14-7. The Monarchs, with this 4-1 start, it's the best start ever since they moved into FBS. Ricky Ronnie, really excited about this group, as he should be. Quinn boots it, and that'll soar into the end zone where ODU gets the football at the 25.
And Quinn's gotten it onto the M. He's gotten it onto the A. We'll see if he can spell it out here today.
If he goes all the way down, I think Marshall's in pretty good shape, right?
That's a lot of points. Well, you talked about that start. Ricky Ronnie was a Penn State assistant, a Vanderbilt assistant. And you talk about that schedule, Keith. They opened up with Indiana and then had to go to Blacksburg and knocked off the Hokies. And that's never easy to do at Lane Stadium.
It's the third time since 2018 they've beaten Virginia Tech. And don't think that doesn't resonate through the Commonwealth. Joseph wants to throw. He gets a little bit of pressure. Looking deep again. His receiver's out there. Play is made, but there's going to be a flag. Marvay Myers in coverage.
Joseph pass incomplete, flags on the play.
They have been able to get a step behind the secondary, Keith.
Pass interference.
Marvay Myers.
Defense, number 3.
Outstanding player.
15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
For Marshall by way of Middle Tennessee.
The penalty puts the ball on the 40-yard line.
First penalty of the game for the Thundering Herd. You saw Myers. He just had to go try to find Trey Brown. And offensive coordinator Kevin Decker looks like he's willing to take some shots here this afternoon. So 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line for the Monarchs. Unable thus far to be able to run the football effectively. This time they whip it up to number 6. That's Ja'Cory Thomas. Trotter on the stop after a gain of about 4 yards.
20th catch of the season for Thomas.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5 and 45.
Keytravian Hargrove is the new tailback in for the Monarchs. He switches sides with Joseph, and now Colton Joseph's going to keep it. Escapes one tackle, and he's got the speed. Can the Herd track him down? Joseph inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line.
Joseph with the keeper takes the ball down to the 13-yard
Dajuan Smith finally corrals him, but that's what he can do. You think you've got him bottled up, and he can slip away.
Dajuan Smith made the stop.
That's a 42-yard pickup. 1st and 10 for ODU. Checks with the sideline. Tight end Butler goes in motion. And Hargrove gets it this time. Powers down inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line.
Now they call Hargrove the Bull. He's been at Mississippi State, Memphis, Grambling.
Down to the
This is an 80-yard touchdown pass reception.
2nd and 6 now for the Monarchs. Joseph looking over that defense for quite a while. Throws it to the outside. It is caught and short of the marker. Dajuan Smith on the stop. Brings up 3rd down. About a yard to go now.
And Gladding with that catch. Gladding's first career catch against Marshall. Nice job there closing by Smith for the Thundering Herd. Big 3rd down coming up here, Keith.
Monarchs 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Always got to honor Joseph as the ball carrier. Hargrove switches sides. And he'll get it, and he'll be stopped just short. It'll be 4th and a yard to go, and now what do you do if you're Ricky Ronnie?
Hargrove stopped short of the 1st down. Caleb Clark Glover on the stop.
Clark Glover came in there and made the nice stop there, slowed him up. Well, no indications that they want 3.
They've tried it once this afternoon. They were unsuccessful. The Herd stopped them at the other end of the field in the first quarter.
Tony Gibson making some personnel changes and I think Tony Gibson wants a timeout.
Timeout.
Do it about a 10-yard sprint to make that happen.
So a huge play ahead for Old Dominion here as Marshall leads at 14-7. Monarchs knocking it down. It's a little more than a yard, maybe a yard and a half. As the Monarchs have gone on a 5-play, 70-yard drive, trying to finish it off here. Huge sequence for both teams here, Mark.
Had the interference call. It's run by Joseph, and here we go.
Joseph's got Devin Roche beside him, the tight end in the slot. Roche keeps it, and he's got close to first down yardage. It's going to be really close.
Stopped just inside the 5.
It'll take a while to unclog all of that.
Javay Gilmore there on the bottom of that pile.
And as always, White feels it's the first down. Green says it's not.
Well, where they spotted is just beyond the 4, and the stick looks like it's closer to the 3, but we'll wait and see when the chain gang comes out.
Scott Broadway is our referee today.
And he is short, and the Herd's defense holds again.
2 times today that they have been able, Keith, to fend off Old Dominion. And then you have a pick 6 along the way. This prevent unit has played well. Tough break there for Old Dominion. They did what they've been wanting to do in this drive, and that was break Joseph loose. Javay Gilmore got him from behind. That kind of started it all there, and then others gathered in. And you go back to the timeout. Keith, you know, Tony Gibson, they weren't sure. They had changing some personnel and just didn't like the field. It's what they're there for. Use those timeouts and make it count, and Marshall certainly does there. And now Old Dominion will try to pin the Herd back deep in its own territory as they start to drive.
Those are game-changing kinds of plays for sure. 1st and 10, Herd has it at their own 4-yard line. They give it up to the left side. That's Roberts. Gets it up to about the 5, maybe a gain of a yard.
Yeah, just give yourself a little bit of breathing room there. Not try anything fancy.
Got Ray Lynch on the stop. 2nd and 8.
They give him 2 on 1st down, so it's 2nd and 8.
It's been Allen Roberts and the quarterback, Del Rio Wilson, with the carries today for the Thundering Herd.
Transfer from Syracuse, Carlos Del Rio Wilson. He's going to roll it this time. Flips it out. Completion is made. D.D. Tamarez.
Complete to Tamarez.
Be about 3 yards short of the first down, but they do get out of the shadows of their goal line.
They get a little more manageable now here on 3rd down. It was a good catch. Had to go down for it. And you put those thumbs together when it's up high, pinkies together when it's down low, and reel it in.
The old wide receiver giving us some tips, huh? 3rd down. Del Rio Wilson shaken out of the pocket, and he's going to be close to the 1st down, but it looks to be a little short.
Carlos Del Rio Wilson
had the opening there for a moment, but that opening closed quickly, and so Marshall's going to have to kick it away.
That's a play, Mark, where maybe if Del Rio Wilson just takes off, he kind of hits there. He thought he may throw it, and maybe that gave the defense a little time to rally around him. But a good stop for ODU on defense as well.
Roche deep for Old Dominion.
Totten's been a weapon this season for Marshall with that powerful left leg, and they need a good one from him right here.
And Devin Roche going to watch it bounce, and it's going to go back into Monarch territory, but it didn't hit ODU. That's what the fans think. And the Herd coming away with it like they've got the football.
There is a flag back at the 15-yard line.
Got a little conference going on at the 18-yard line. Scott Broadway, our referee this afternoon. Big call here.
During the kick, holding, return team. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is the ball was touched by the receiving team, recovered by the kicking team. First down, Marshall.
So it is Marshall football. And how about that? The Herd gets a break on special teams. Looks like Zane Porter's the guy who came away with it.
Well, you talk about you need the great kick from your outstanding punter. I think they got a little better deal all the way around, didn't they, Keith?
Looks like it hit the tight end, Dawson Johnson. And he walks off the field like, oh, man.
And Zane Porter, a young man who grew up right here in the greater Huntington area.
Del Rio Wilson now completes on first down into Old Dominion territory. Catch made by Floyd Lacey.
Lacey goes up high and gathers it in, and quickly a first down here for Marshall following that turnover.
Herd like nothing better than to turn this into points here. You got to take advantage of the opportunities when ODU gives them to you. This time Del Rio Wilson just going to run it, and he is hit and hit hard. Met in there by Cole Daniels, big defensive tackle from Summerall, Mississippi. 300-pounder.
Second and 8.
Gain of 2 yards on first down. Trips to the top of the screen. And now Lacey goes in motion. And this is a throwback pass. There's Allen, and he had it, but he dropped it. What a play design. Well, that was 6.
That's a situation where you're just too wide open.
As incomplete.
Back to your point, Mark, it looked like he was, okay, which way do I put my hands for this catch? He is a tailback.
Allen was the intended receiver. It is third down and 8.
An excellent job by Norton, because that's tough. Taking that pass, you got to set yourself. You can't rush it, and he laid it out there. Great call, but unfortunately Marshall unable to capitalize.
Third down, 8 to go. Del Rio Wilson's going to keep it on the ground. He's got first down yardage inside the 35 down to the 33-yard line. Big conversion for the Herd.
Yeah, they didn't get the sure touchdown they would have had, but Del Rio Wilson gets the first down. Ricky Ronnie said about Carlos Del Rio Wilson, said just maybe a more physical version of his quarterback, Joseph. He shows it there.
There's Lacey. Met quickly. Nice coverage on defense by Nikendre Steiger. Stop after a gain of about 2 yards.
How about Steiger? He's in his 6th season at Old Dominion. He got the Heart of a Lion award, which is off-season weight room and conditioning work, and he was the defensive recipient. Do one for offense, one for defense. Of course, they have a West Virginia native as their strength coach in Chad Snodgrass.
2nd and 7 for the Herd. And that's Roberts pounding it inside the 20 down to the 17. Stop on defense made by Jaleel Culbreth, who is down on the ground after the first down.
Now he's down on the ground, and Steiger, young man we were just talking about, he was getting up a bit slow. Nice powerful run there by Antoine Roberts.
Roberts just a kind of their big physical back, and he will deliver a hit just as he takes one. Great blocking up front by Marshall's O-line. McDuffie, Adams, Meeks, Slappy, Montgomery.
Roberts, a guy who, of those carrying the football for Marshall, guy's been around, and just kind of waiting his opportunity to come.
Injured last year, and this year he's committed himself, and with that backfield room being pretty deep, you appreciate the touches you get, Mark. First and 10 for the Herd. From the 17. Payne in motion. Del Rio Wilson with Payne out there leading the way, and he lowers his head, picks up a few yards, and here comes a late flag.
Yeah, Payne's helmet came off. And he was kind of being driven out of bounds.
He threw his hands up as if to say, Mr. Ref, did you see that? We'll see if that's the call.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 12. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
So that's a face mask, which will give Marshall a first down inside the 10.
The players notice it came off, may remain in the game
wait
due to
on
the
the
foul.
call from the referee. Can we say down on Broadway or down to Broadway?
The neon lights are bright on Broadway right now. First and goal from the 7. Man in motion. Del Rio Wilson, this time nowhere to go. Good defense. Jerome Carter was there, leading tackler for the Monarchs.
Del Rio Wilson with the carry.
A nice job by Old Dominion defensively there. Del Rio Wilson did a pretty good job selling that on the reverse to Turner, but Monarchs were having none of it here as they try to clamp down on Marshall, something Marshall has done to the Monarchs twice here this afternoon.
No gain rather. And here comes Del Rio Wilson again, pounds it inside the 5 to about the 3.5 yard line. Stop made by Chris Trinidad, one of the captains of this squad. So that'll set up third and goal from about the 4 yard line.
Seth Nalitala helped slow him up. He's the older of the two brothers. His sixth season of college football. He was at JMU. There's two brothers, one born in Italy, one born in Hawaii.
That's the inside give to Antoine Roberts. Gets down to about the 1. And what do you do now if you're Tony Gibson?
Takes the ball down to the 1.
Well, it looks like he wants points.
Crowd maybe would urge him to go for it, but you're up 7. You don't want to come away empty-handed. You can make the argument on both sides, obviously. But he's bringing out Lorcan Quinn.
Opportunity here to get yourself a 10-point lead.
Lorcan Quinn on to attempt a 20-yard field goal.
Just a 20-yarder, looks like an extra point, basically. 6 of 10 on the season. Quinn boots it, and it is good. So the Herd gets 3 on that drive, and they lead Old Dominion 17-7. 3:10 to go before halftime. Plays as the Herd fans enjoying this beautiful Saturday afternoon for football in Huntington, West Virginia. And those signs honoring people in your life who've suffered and dealt with cancer. Like Mark said, we all know somebody, and thinking about everybody here today. There's another Lorcan Quinn kick, goes into the end zone.
Kick out of the end zone.
So ODU takes back over, trailing by 10 now with 3:10 to go before halftime. Coach Gibson with the headset, Mark, as we mentioned, calling the plays on defense. That's his specialty, of course. Coordinator at West Virginia for a long time. Arizona, Michigan. He's been around, and he most recently was at North Carolina State. He's got to feel good about his defense this afternoon thus far.
Yeah, Tony's had a little taste of everything. He was at Pitt for one season. He tasted that backyard brawl on both sides.
Joseph on first down from the 25-yard line. Looking over that defense. They'll spread you side to side. And he wants to throw it again. And he's got time. Now he's flushed out of there. Gilmore giving chase, but Joseph can move. Picks up about 6 yards on the carry.
Again, as you said, he had the time, but just no one to release it to. These two head coaches, Tony again specializing on defense throughout his career. Ricky Ronnie was an outstanding quarterback in college. Owns all the records.
There's a give to Jones. Picks his way for first down yardage out to the 39-yard line. There's a fumble. Let's see what they rule.
Fumble on the play.
Marshall pointing toward the south end zone. And coming out of the pile is Boogie Trotter. Wow.
Well, that's 2 now, in which ODU has given it over to the Thundering Herd from a fumble standpoint. Then you throw in the Boogie Trotter interception that was returned for a touchdown. There is Trotter celebrating.
He's going to get that dog bone thing they have. Let's look at it here. Jones kind of held up. Trotter looked like he ripped it out and recovered it.
Got it. He said, hey, if I'm going to go to all that work and get that thing out of there, I'm going to get credit for the fumble recovery.
Wow, what a strip.
Yeah, you talk about the strip drill. You see it in practice a lot, and boy, coaches preach to these guys, you know, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this, and sometimes they may say, wow, this is a lot, but boy, right there it shows why. And you usually know a team has the football when half the defensive unit is off the field.
Yeah, and he talked about this week about being a ball hawk, and he's proven it here this afternoon. 1st and 10 from the Herd 39-yard line. Del Rio Wilson keeps it, has a nice hole up the middle. Del Rio Wilson down inside the 15-yard line.
Well, he sized it up, coming to the outside, and then he went right back up the middle. Got a great block from Floyd Lacey, and a huge first down.
Such a big physical runner, but he can cut too, as he demonstrates there, Mark.
2-minute timeout.
24-yard run for Del Rio Wilson. Down to the 15-yard line. We are at the 2-minute timeout. Beautiful day for football in Huntington, West Virginia. Herd leads it 17-7. Welcome back to Edwards Stadium. 2 minutes to go before halftime, and level up for the best experience on the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. 1st and 10 for the Herd from the 15. That's Lacey. Lacey looking for the end zone, cut down at the 1-yard line.
Lacey takes the ball to the 1-yard line.
That's that running back
That is a 1st and goal.
skill he possesses. McKendray Steiger stops the touchdown there at the 1.
As he said, when the ball is in his hands, he feels like he can score pretty close there. It just feels good to be a big factor in this offense, and I think that may be quite the understatement.
You got to believe Rod Smith will maybe take his time on this. 1:36 to go. You don't want to give him the ball back with too much time should you score here. But they give it into Roberts. Touchdown, Anquan Roberts.
Yeah, a couple different ways of looking at that, but hey, get it while you can, right?
you never want to refuse to score, right?
Roberts. And yet again, Keith,
More than 4 players in the backfield. Numbers
turnovers in this game, and Marshall taking advantage of them.
It remains first down.
Well, now they're saying no TD.
So they must have thrown a flag that we did not see. Apologize for that. So, yeah, it looks like they're at the 6-yard line now. Just never saw the flag. Illegal formation was the call. So the Herd now, 1st and goal from the 6. This time Del Rio Wilson's going to keep it. They get his jersey, but they can't hang on. Del Rio Wilson 6-yard touchdown for the big quarterback transfer from Syracuse. And Mark, they had his jersey. You could see it, part of it at the 3-yard line, but they just couldn't pull the big guy down.
Yeah, you know, you're looking at a guy that's 6'2", 219, Atlanta, Georgia. Gonna get a chance to play there later in the season, but right now playing outstanding football here in Huntington.
Lorcan Quinn on to add the extra point to improve on this 23-7 lead for the Thundering Herd. A little bit of a shocker thus far in Huntington. And Quinn's kick is up and good.
All right, we don't have the band right now, but
well, you go back to the defensive stop, and when it's all said and done, it leads to this right here. Carlos Del Rio Wilson touchdown.
Doing his little celebration dance, like we mentioned. He's big, and Ricky Ronnie was warning his team and the fan base about this guy and how physical he is, and he basically wheeled himself into the end zone. A 3-play drive, 33 yards, took just 55 seconds. Mark-I James and Mario Easterly back deep to receive. But again, Quinn makes that a null
at the end of the end zone
point here as they will take it out to the 25-yard line. 1:23 to go before halftime. And Joseph can strike quickly. So for Tony Gibson and his defense, be on the lookout. They've hit the long ball several times. So much talent on that offense. Can't sleep on these guys no matter how much time's left on the clock.
Yeah, Joseph with a 50-yard touchdown this season, came in with 433 yards rushing on the season. Had 158 against Marshall a year ago in Norfolk.
He's going to run it. That's Roche. No, I'm sorry, that's James. Mark-I James. First down yardage out to the 36-yard line.
Look, he kind of hit a wall there, Keith, and then just bounced it to the outside and produces the first down.
Yeah, did a nice job of keeping his legs moving. Joseph wants to throw it here. Over the middle, a little too high. Hit delivered by Cam Smith.
Yeah, Brown felt that one.
He was really in an awkward position as he went up to get that, Mark.
Yeah, Cam Smith. Of course, there's a lot of newcomers on this Thundering Herd football team in Tony Gibson's first year at the helm. Another look here. Slanting and just goes in and out of his hands. And then Cam Smith coming up and laying the lumber to young man.
Brown with that touchdown earlier. He averages 17 yards per catch. Just a threat in that really deep and talented receiving core.
Yeah, has the touchdown here for the Monarchs, 71 yards. That was a 3-play, 65-yard drive there back in the opening quarter.
Just a redshirt sophomore from Savannah, Georgia.
You continue to look at the young man, and you hope he can get up on his own power and head off the field.
And he's still down there at midfield.
In Cam Smith, we were talking about all those newcomers, Keith, and Cam Smith has been a guy just all over the place this season. I mean, you know, they can put him at linebacker, they can put him in the secondary, and I mean, he knows one way, and that is all out. Came to Marshall by way of Jackson State, started his career at Eastern Michigan.
Big physical player, obviously. Nothing, didn't look malicious, obviously. There was no flag. He just hit Brown in the back as he was trying to stretch out for that ball, and he's walking off the field to some applause, which is good to see.
Yep, and hopefully that outstanding player could come back to Smith for a moment. Told us a few weeks back, you know, football was not the choice. He grew up in Cleveland. He said, I wanted to be a basketball guy. I was a basketball guy. I thought I was a basketball player. And he loved them all, but, you know, certainly has turned into a terrific football player and final season as a collegiate performer here at Marshall.
2nd and 10. Joseph gives it this side to James inside, and he hurdles a defender. James, a great run down to the 32-yard line. Mark-I James.
The carry takes the ball into Marshall territory. Ball is 1st and 10 at the 34.
And now Joseph wants to go hurry up. They have no trouble doing this. That's where they play. Joseph drops, throws over the middle, delivers. It is caught. That's wide receiver T.J. Johnson.
T.J. Johnson with the reception of the Colton Joseph pass. Ball at the 24, 1st down.
Down to the 24, another 1st down. Joseph, he's got time, and they try to keep him bottled up. Now he escapes, and he'll throw it to no one in particular,
Joseph
to the sideline.
Ball away.
Good pressure coming from JaVale Gilmore there, and
pressure by JaVale Gilmore
Joseph
for Marshall.
Will just roll to his right and live to play another down here.
We apologize for the score graphic, which is down. 37 seconds to go. 2nd and 10 for ODU from the 24-yard line. And the whistles blow as Ricky Ronnie wants to use one of his timeouts here. This is a huge series.
Timeout. Marshall.
Marshall,
30
pardon me.
seconds. 30 seconds
Gibson
timeout.
Wanting to take a look at this. Mark, you notice when Joseph drops back, it's almost as if Marshall's doing a job just to contain him, not let him outside the pocket. Which means sometimes you can't go full bore right at him because he'll elude you and he'll be gone.
Well, in this game, Keith, he's
Reset the game clock.
carried it 7 times, 43 yards, and his long is 42. He had that big run, so they've done a nice job there. But ever dangerous, just what a wonderful player he is. Again, had the chance to be at that game last year in Norfolk and put on a show.
He's
carried
electric.
it 25 times.
158 yards. And he, against Indiana earlier in the year, now number 7 Indiana, 75-yard touchdown run, 78-yard touchdown run. Unbelievable.
Indiana guided by former Sun Belt Conference coach, JMU's Kurt Cignetti, now Indiana, and they've got a big game today with Oregon.
2nd and 10 from the 24-yard line. Hurd leads it 24-7 here. Joseph going to hang on to it. Throws it over the middle. He had his wide receiver wide open. Ja'Cory Thomas had broken free, but a little too tall. Big 3rd down now for the Monarchs.
And Ja'Cory Thomas, 2 catches on the day, 52 yards, came in with 19. It was a pretty good looking play. Ran that slant, but just a little over his outstretched arms for the catch.
3rd and 10 now. Hurd shows blitz, backs off. Joseph wants to throw it, delivers, and it is incomplete. Led his man a little too far. That's Abdul Rahim Gladding he was looking for.
They're just going for those slants and unable to produce, so ODU will attempt for 3 here and close the gap a bit before halftime.
42-yard field goal attempt for Riley Callahan. He's 6 of 9 this year for the Monarchs. And Tony Gibson will use his final timeout. Make him think about it a little bit.
Timeout. Marshall. Their third and final timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Miss or make, Mark, we talked with Coach Gibson earlier this week, and he said when you can get them off the field, even hold them to 3, it's a little bit of a victory against this offense.
Well, and one of the things you wanted to do coming in was just simply keep the offense off the field, and they've done that. They had the football 18 minutes, 44 seconds, that being Marshall, and just 9:53. And sometimes time of possession
right. Sometimes
is
it doesn't
misleading,
matter, does it?
but I think today they've done a really nice job of keeping Old Dominion's potent offensive attack in check here, but the Monarchs trying to add 3 here before the break.
The punter, Ian Brandt, is the holder. Callahan from 42. Puts his leg into it and knocks it through. So the Monarchs get 3 to cut the lead to 14 here in Huntington just before halftime. 8-play drive, went 51 yards. You got to believe that Coach Gibson would be content, Mark, to run a play here and get to the locker room up a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, see if they want to take a shot here, but somehow, some way, you can get the ball into the hands of one of your return guys, and they take it to the house. They are really high on Bradshaw returning kicks, and Ben Turner's back there as well. But
number 18 is now number 84 for ODU.
Got what it takes to be dangerous. But
number 10
there's
is
so
now
many
number
great
43
kickers
for
now.
Marshall.
Keith.
Yeah,
few people get a chance.
Every week in the NFL, it's like 58 yards is nothing. Kick will be returnable, but Turner Bradshaw calls for the fair catch.
Fair catch called for. First and 10 for Marshall at the 25.
His father, a Hall of Famer here.
Ahmad, one of the great running backs in Marshall history.
Back.
And that's who gets it. Allen protects the football, gets out to the 28-yard line.
Michael Allen with the carry, thought by Chris Trinidad, gain of 3 to
and Ricky
28.
Ronnie electing not to call
Second
a
and 7.
timeout. Looks like they're willing to just let this clock tick down to end the half.
You know, they get a snack at halftime. Trinidad, he loves oxtails. I'm not sure if they'll have any of those in the locker room or not, but
That's the end of the first half.
So the crowd appreciates the effort by Marshall here in the first half, up on Old Dominion. This same team receiving votes in the USA Today coaches poll. Won 4 straight, and Marshall has more than held its own. In fact, Marshall has outplayed the Monarchs thus far. We're going to try to get Ben Westfall down there with head coach Tony Gibson. And we see that pink jacket, so we'll send it down to Ben Westfall and Coach Gibson.
Coach, overall good half. Just your overall thoughts.
Yeah, 3 takeaways so far right now, so that was it. That was part of the plan to win. You know, that was keys to victory for us. We got to keep doing a great job. We can't give up explosives.
Now, defensively, you talk about that explosive play, but outside of that, have been containing the run game well. What's the message going into the second half?
Just keep doing what we're doing. We got to tackle this quarterback. He could get out at any point on us and make us hurt from that. So we got to do a great job and just keep containing him, wrap him up, and just keep playing hard.
Coach, you mentioned those turnovers, 3 turnovers and 2 turnovers on downs. How big is that going into this game?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we stepped up in the red zone, proud of the guys. And again, this is a long way from being over. They're explosive offense, so we got to keep doing our jobs.
Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck second half.
Thank you.
Back up to you guys in the booth.
As happy but still nervous, Tony Gibson heads to the locker room. You can't ever take your guard down, Mark, against this ODU team. statistics, and we will, of course, at some point. Looks like a pretty even game. Mark, those turnovers have made a huge difference in this ball game.
Well, one of those turnovers was a pick six, and then you pick up a couple of fumbles, and you turn those into points. I'll tell you what, though, ODU, they came out swinging, but then Marshall does a great job defensively there to hold the Monarchs out. Floyd Lacey, a guy we talked about prior to the game, ever dangerous when he gets the ball in his hands. And here's Boogie Trotter, who said, I'm going to get my 4th interception of the season. He still has a half to go. Not only did he get the interception, he got a touchdown out of it.
Yeah.
And again, outstanding play by the Thundering Herd defensively. But then they let the Monarchs strike their Trey Brown 71-yard passing catch. And then how about Michael Allen? Smooth sailing from Carlos Del Rio Wilson. That one covering 49 yards. Well, this is the guy you got to keep in check, Keith. And that's his big run of the day, 42 yards. They had it here, that being Marshall, and just unable to hang on to it was Allen off the pass from Norton there on the wide receiver pass. And Carlos Del Rio Wilson, big, strong, physical guy, and giving out the punishment there, leading this Thundering Herd offense. And again, clogging it up, and a fumble, and that was Trotter again. He ripped it out, Keith, and then got the fumble recovery, and all they could have there was just the towel of Del Rio Wilson, and they were unable to get him, and he goes into the end zone. Marshall leads it here at the break by 14.
Yeah, it takes more than just grabbing his jersey to bring him down. He's done a great job, masterful job of running the offense here in the first half. That little deke pass to Michael Allen was a thing of beauty, and it's a play we've seen Old Dominion run a couple of times this year. Let's go downstairs to Ben Westfall with Coach Ronnie.
Here with Coach Ronnie. Coach, overall trailing at the second half, what adjustments need to be made?
Just got to believe in what, our assignments and things like that. We made some uncharacteristic errors, and, we're going to come out here, we're going to correct them, we're going to play physical the way we have all season long and play fast. That's what we have to.
You get the field goal in the first half, but then you get the ball to start the second half. How crucial is it to score right here on this drive?
Yeah, obviously that'd be a nice 10-point swing right there. That'd be huge. We've got to go out there, but we've got to worry about each play. We can't worry about, a whole drive and things like that. We've got to worry about each play, go 1-0 on each individual play from here to the rest of the game.
You talk about just a sloppy play, 5 turnovers, 2 of them on down, 3 turnovers overall. What's the message to be able to clean that up?
Yeah, it's a lot of different things. But we got to win our one-on-one battles right now, and we're not doing that. So got to win our one-on-one battles. I've got to help out there, and take those field goals when I get a chance. But we've got to win our one-on-one battles. That's what's going to be critical.
Coach, best of luck second half.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ben. Thanks to Coach Ronnie. We're back with the second half after this. Getting ready for the second half here. Marshall to kick it to ODU as the Monarchs will have the football to start this one. Again, Lorcan Quinn sends it through the end zone. So the Monarchs will set up shop at the 25-yard line. Pleased to be joined by Conference Commissioner Keith Gill from New Orleans. That's his home office, and he's a Chamber of Commerce day here for you this afternoon.
It's unbelievable. Perfect weather. Couldn't ask for better.
Talk about one of your hallmark teams this year so far, Old Dominion, and this football game. Marshall's playing them really well right now.
Yeah, Marshall's playing great, and Old Dominion is certainly giving great effort, but certainly had a couple of turnovers. And then the, kind of the red zone, two trips inside the 10 with no points. It's kind of the story of the game, but Marshall's playing really well. It's a good bounce back game for them.
Keith, I have to believe that one of the great aspects of your job is simply to go around to all these wonderful venues and take in great collegiate action, regardless of what the sport is.
Oh, yes. Well, I love football. So coming around and watching football, I was in Statesboro on Thursday for their game against Southern Miss. And so being here, watching ODU and Marshall has been exciting. But the opportunity to kind of see great student athletes compete and do things they love is really exciting for me.
Yeah, as we look in on the game, first down throw for Colton Joseph as they get close to midfield at the 45-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Monarchs. He's such a dangerous quarterback, Keith. Marshall coach Tony Gibson says you can't ever take your eye off him. He's electric.
Yeah, he really can. I mean, he can throw the ball. He puts the ball right on the money. And then he can run the ball, you know. So he had that long run that he had there in the second quarter. So yeah, Joseph is really dynamic and certainly someone you gotta keep your eye on. You got a game plan for him. He's a really great player.
Keith, you are knee-deep in championships are just around the corner already here in our fall sports aspect of the 2025-26 school year.
Yeah, you know, cross country is, 2 weeks from Friday, I think, this coming Friday, so or 3 weeks from yesterday. So it is, you know, we're always in the thick of it, and it just starts rolling. And I know you had a big men's soccer win here at Marshall last night, and so men's soccer will be around the corner, women's soccer, also volleyball. So fall sport, and this is week 7 of football. We're halfway through.
I know, it's
so
crazy.
It's amazing how time flies.
3rd down, 9 to go now for Joseph at the 45-yard line, and there are flags everywhere. Keith, it's your first chance to see the little party deck here. Marshall ODU has
False start. Offense, number 55, simulating the snap, 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
completely renovated their stadium. Louisiana do it. How important is that for these programs to upgrade their places and make them even more state of the art?
Yeah, it's great. You know, investment is so important. You know, and so it's nice to see our programs continue to invest. I had a chance to just kind of look through the end zone area earlier today, and it really is spectacular. People are having a good time and enjoying the game, and it's a great view. It's like an unbelievable view. It's like really impressive.
So there was a flag on ODU on 3rd down. Now it made it 3rd and 14, and now maybe Marshall jumps this time. We'll see when they sort this one out.
Yeah.
Offside. Defense, number 92, with contact. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
That puts the ball back to the 46.
For the climb of the Sun Belt will be the mission, just to keep moving up the ladder, right?
Yeah, you know what? Keep investing, keep growing, you know, and keep working to just be regularly in the CFP on the football side. And obviously you saw Coastal last year in the College World Series. You know, multiple women's golf teams in the NCAA championship. We want to be good at everything. We don't just want to be a good football conference. We want to be good at every sport that we play.
Joseph keeps it on 3rd down, and he's short, so it looks like the Monarchs will punt it away. A good stop for Marshall. Keith, when you look at the landscape of college athletics, and there's certainly no disrespect to the SEC or the Big Ten, but you're seeing these teams having to go coast to coast to play each other. Geographical similarities kind of resonate through the Sun Belt, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's our superpower. You know, it's nice playing these regional games. You know, a team from Virginia and a team from West Virginia, 2 border states that are close and not too far away. Fans can get to the games. Fans understand the schools and what's involved. So I really do think that really is our secret sauce, and we're going to keep leaning into that, because I do think, you know, those coast-to-coast games certainly, you know, have some value, but there's certainly a detriment for those conferences.
Well, a lot of challenges there in New Orleans, you know, for any conference commissioner. But is the biggest challenge of the day deciding where you're going to have lunch and dinner with all those great restaurants?
You know what? The food in New Orleans is outstanding. So
oh, my goodness.
It really is terrific. So it's such a great place to live and a great place to be. And as long as you can just manage your butter intake, you know what I mean? It's no
you
better
look fit
place.
as a fiddle,
Yeah.
so
Keith, with hoop season coming up, how's the league looking as we get ready for basketball?
Yeah, you know, I'm really excited, you know. I think we've got some really good teams coming in basketball, and that's another place where we've made some investments in terms of facilities and some new places. You look at JMU's arena, and obviously Georgia State has a new arena. Georgia Southern's opening up a new arena. So, you know, basketball is going to be really good for us, both on the men and women's side. So really excited about Pensacola, and going to have some just great games down there for our championships. Encourage everyone to kind of lean into basketball and come to Pensacola and watch some great Sun Belt basketball.
Toby Payne picks up 8 yards on 1st down. Then Michael Allen goes the other 2 for a 1st down as Marshall driving the ball on its first possession. Mark?
yeah, a couple of really nice plays back-to-back offensively there. Keith, I got 2 Keiths here for so you know, I got to make sure which one I'm talking to. Keith,
Yeah,
for you, how special is it just you know, in your career to be the commissioner of an outstanding conference like the Sun Belt?
Yeah, you know, this is my 7th football season, you know, and it doesn't get old. I'm excited about the league. I feel like our best days are ahead. said, it's just excited to kind of serve the students and the coaches and these schools. We got great schools doing like some really exciting things, and it's really kind of fun to watch kind of the trajectory of the conference and to be a part of it and play a small role in its development.
Unfortunately, we see two players down on that play as Carlos Del Rio Wilson cracks ahead for a good gain on first down of 9 yards. I believe it's a Marshall player and an ODU player. So with the injury, we will take a break, and we'll be back in Huntington, West Virginia. Marshall with the football, 2nd and 1, leading it over back to Edwards Stadium, and like to honor Hannah Toth, Sun Belt Conference Cross Country Runner of the Week. Look at these numbers she's put up. 5 personal records in her first race in nearly 2 years. Top SBC finisher in the Louisville Cross Country Class race, and her previous PR 2 years prior at Louisville with a time of 18:57. Congratulations, Hannah Toth, Sun Belt Conference Cross Country Runner of the Week. Second and 1 for the Herd, and Michael Allen is met immediately there.
With the carry.
Stop made by Jeremy Mack.
Jeremy Mack with the stop. No gain on the
So
play.
that sets up 3rd and 1.
A beautiful day for football. It'd be a beautiful day for a cross-country meet. And of course, Commissioner Gill talking about the championships are coming for that sport in the Sun Belt.
Michael Allen brings
And Allen this time gets just enough for the first down to keep Marshall's drive going. And this is exactly what Tony Gibson wants, Mark, to take the ball and, again, keep it away from that powerful offense. Seth Nawatala on the stop. But it's Herd gets a new set of downs. Norton goes in motion. Del Rio Wilson wants to unload it, but there's coverage out there. Threw into double coverage. And fortunate that McKendry Steiger didn't catch up to that ball.
Yeah, he was aiming for DeAndre Tamarez, and again, as you said, Keith, 2 guys were there, so he almost threw it to them, not to his receiver. But again, Carlos Del Rio Wilson so efficient, and just wanted the home run ball there.
Got to keep him honest, don't you, Mark?
You sure do.
2nd and 10. Herd's first drive of the second half. Toby Payne in motion. They fake it. Now they're going long again. Looking for D.D. Tamarez. Overthrew him just a bit.
And Carlos doing, he's kind of clapping his hands there, but Tamarez had the step.
Still on coverage, 3rd and 10 for Marshall.
He knows it too.
Pump fake and nice looking ball by Carlos Del Rio Wilson, but falls incomplete and brings up a 3rd down play here.
They haven't seen a lot of 3rd and longs this afternoon, the Herd offense. Backfield is empty. Del Rio Wilson. Here comes the blitz. And he gets rid of it. Complete to Norton. Norton squirts ahead through the middle of the defense. There's the flag down. Temporarily a first down.
A couple of flags are out.
Flag on the play.
I'm going to tell you what, there was some traffic there, but you know, Mr. Broadway has to tell us.
Well, design play, but it may have been a block in the back. Or now they're looking the other way.
They're on the field. The ball is beyond the line of scrimmage. Pass interference. Offense number 81. 15-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
Coach Gibson taking some umbrage with that call.
Ball will be at the 30. 3rd down, 25.
There's Payne right there in the middle. Marches the Herd all the way back to the 31-yard line.
That comes back, but outstanding concentration by the receiver there in a high traffic zone.
3rd and kind of impossible for the Herd here. May just want to run a play to get some yardage and kick it away. Here's Del Rio Wilson. Gets out to the 40-yard line. good game.
Real Wilson with the keeper,
but they'll have to kick it away.
Close to the 40 for a gain of nearly 10.
Jerome Carter on the stop. Good to see him back, as he was one of the guys
Jerome Carter on the stop
down with an injury, at least temporarily.
4th down.
Unfortunately for Marshall, they'll have to kick it away here.
Roche deep for Old Dominion.
Eat up clock here. Got the 14-point advantage and can keep the ball out of the hands of the Monarchs, but they're going to get it back here.
Nathan Totten to punt it away. High kick. Devin Roche calls for the fair catch, and he fumbled it. And I'll be darned, the Thundering Herd falls on another special teams miscue.
Porter again.
The ruling on the field is that the ball was lost by the receiving team and recovered by the kicking team. First down, Marshall.
Porter with the dog bone. Here it is. Mark Roche is looking into the sun, and he did touch it.
Zane Porter, Spring Valley High School product from right here in the area, makes the play.
Deserves a couple of dog bones for what he's done today.
He's got 2. Let me tell you what, you come into these games and you just hope you can contribute in some way, and you do it in a variety of ways. And Porter making his presence felt here today, and Marshall in business right now.
Yeah, the Herd with another gift on special teams. Del Rio Wilson in the offense start at the 28-yard line. There's Justin Williams Thomas, and he is dragged down after maybe a yard gain.
Justin Williams Thomas the carry. Takes the ball down to the 26 for a gain of 2. 2nd and 8.
Justin Williams Thomas, very talented young man who was at Cal. He's had some injuries, and he just talked about, you know, what a gift it is to be back playing football. And anytime you can get in there and get some touches, he said it's a great thing.
2-back set. This time it's Roberts. Antoine Roberts heading for the end zone. Touchdown, Thundering Herd.
Roberts, a huge opening there. Credit to that Thundering Herd offensive front. And once again, Keith, you get the turnover, and then the next mission is to capitalize, and they do just that.
When you play a team like ODU that can score like they do, you want to make sure you take advantage of your opportunities, and they did just that. They go with a 2-back set, a great block up front by Richter, and Roberts does the rest.
Lorcan Quinn on to attempt to the extra point.
Lorcan Quinn on to give the Herd a 31-10 lead. The Irishman boots it through.
He is up and good.
So the Herd uses the special teams turnover to its advantage, and Antoine Roberts takes it to the house. Marshall leads it over ODU 31-10.
Texas State team here in Huntington next week for homecoming.
Once again, Lorcan Quinn doing his job, negating any kind of kickoff returns here this afternoon.
Yeah, he's been special, and you know, it's impressive, obviously, strong leg and all that, but there are still so many fine pieces to the game of football, and really excelling at it and learning it and what to do. And I'll tell you what, this young man, you know, coming from across the way, and he has not flinched, and he's soaking it all in. He's been a real weapon for Tony Gibson's team so far this season.
First down now for Joseph and the Monarchs. Traquan Jones is the tailback. Picks his way ahead for a couple of yards. Out to the 29-yard line.
Dominion. Ball at the 28, gain of 3. 2nd and 7.
Give him 3 on that one.
Laquan Crowder. Well, he's made a couple of nice defensive plays here.
There's a flag. A quick look out to Ja'Cory Thomas. That may come back.
And then you have a guy like Cam Smith. He He just comes up so quickly on the ball.
Little discussion between players after that one.
There is no foul for offensive holding.
They pick up the flag. So that's a gain of a couple of yards. Brings up 3rd and 4 now. They've got to get to 35.
It's 3rd down and 4 for Old Dominion.
That was the tight end, Dawson Johnson, through the block. Joseph back to throw. He's got time. Now he's got some pressure. Looking for the home run. And it is overthrown. Good coverage out there by the Herd secondary.
Pass incomplete.
It was a stride-for-stride situation there. Josh Pierre Lewis for the Thundering Herd. Right there with Gladding. And Gladding's first career catch, he's got a bunch of them now, but his first career catch a year ago came against the Thundering Herd. Just weren't able to get it to him that time around.
Ian Brandt on to kick it away again for the Monarchs. Boots it. Fair catch signaled for and caught the 35-yard line.
Lacey makes a fair catch at the
Floyd Lacey makes the grab.
When you think about football, Keith, and I don't know that there's any more difficult of a position to play.
Please reset the game clock to 7:54. 7:54 on the game clock, please.
Now Tallow, that was Seth, the older of the two brothers. That was him limping off there. But you think about punt returns.
Please reset the game clock to 7:54. 7:54 on the game clock, please. Thank you.
I'm going to tell you this story, Keith.
I'm ready.
Mr. Broadway's got to get us all straight here. But, you know, it is, I mean, you are just looking up and, you know, the sun and all kinds of different things. And, you know, guys are flying at 100 miles an hour to take you down. And you just got to be fearless. And they all are. And Lacey certainly is. And Marshall here on first down with the run.
And that was the aforementioned Seth Nawatala on the stop. Nice tackle there. Just a gain of 1 yard for Allen. And Marshall's not going to be in any hurry offensively. Up 21 with the football. There's a little rollout. Nice delivery to Lacey. Lacey breaks free. Floyd Lacey. Can he get a block? Knocked out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Well, we can't see his eyes, but you can see it in his eyes. You know, as he talks about, and that ball is in his hands, he wants to take it all the way and score. And nice job there, because I think the defense was fooled, Keith. And, you know, you got Toby Payne coming across there and sort of Del Rio Wilson looking at his tight end, but instead delivers it into the hands of one of his gifted wide receivers, Floyd Lacey.
Yeah, Lacey did a great job, Marcus, setting down in that zone. 52 yards on the reception. 1st and 10 for the Herd in ODU territory. Here's Roberts. Nothing doing there. Lucas Struck was there on the stop. Gain of a yard.
Struck the red shirt sophomore, 200-pounder.
Del Rio Wilson, his normal efficient self, 16 of 22, 204 yards with 1 touchdown pass. Just doing a great job of running this offense. That's going to be a free play, I believe. Tamaraz was out of bounds anyway, but there's a flag down.
Herd pass incomplete. There's a flag on the play.
relatively clean game. 7 penalties between the two teams.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding. Offense. Offside. Defense. Number 76. Penalties offset. It's second down.
Keith, you were discussing the efficiency of the Marshall quarterback, and give a lot of credit to those guys up front. So we have another look here. Great grab by Tam Resnick, couldn't hang on, but as you said, out of bounds. But those guys up front, McDuffie, Adams, Meeks, Slappy, and Richter.
There's Del Rio Wilson around the left side, dives for the pylon. And they signal a touchdown, but there's a flag on the field.
Holding. Offense, number 13. 10-yard penalty. And second down.
So there I said, pretty clean game in the herd with a couple of quick penalties, and they're marching the wrong way.
Yeah, they got Adrian Norton right there.
And 9 times out of 10 when you see a play like that, Mark, that block isn't even necessary. Either Del Rio Wilson gets there or he gets down to the 2, and now you set yourself back. Second down, 11 to go. The Herd can get a first down.
He was battling there with Zion Frink.
There's a pass to Floyd Lacey, end zone touchdown. And that Marshall offense playing lights out here this afternoon.
Yeah, back-to-back penalties, and then just line up, do it again, and Floyd Lacey. Quick slant and a laser pass from Del Rio Wilson, and Marshall adds to its lead.
Lorcan Quinn on for the extra point. And if you're anywhere around the Sun Belt as he boots it through and you see this score pop up, that'll raise some eyebrows as Marshall taking over in this one. Del Rio Wilson to Floyd Lacey. These two form quite a tandem as Marshall up 38-10. You're watching Sun Belt football on ESPN. Perfect day for football here in Huntington, West Virginia, and a nearly perfect performance thus far for the Thundering Herd, up 38-10 on Old Dominion. Quinn on to kick it away. Drills it to the back of the end zone again. Monarchs take over at the 25.
He's not aiming for the letters now in the end zone. He's just going beyond that.
Aiming for the back line, isn't he?
What a day here, Keith, and Huntington.
Yeah, if you want to draw up a Saturday, no humidity, not much wind, just a beautiful day for football. And Marshall has made the most of it. But you never rest with Colton Joseph on the other side.
Yeah, you give this young man just an inch, and he's going to take a mile and rally his team.
They're going to throw it, and they do, and it's complete. Nice catch. Or did he hang on? No, he did not hang on. That was Ja'Cory Thomas. Had it, but was hit immediately. Now he's down again.
Yeah, Thomas takes a shot
Early
there.
on the field is an incomplete pass. The receiver did not maintain possession of the ball.
Caleb Clark Glover delivered it, and he just, as soon as he hit the ground, the football falls to the turf. Ouch.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
That turf is soft, but it's not that soft.
No, no.
And you are going up, and, again, these guys are fearless. They lay their bodies on the line, not just on game day, but each and every day. They are in incredible shape, but yet
Ja'Cory Thomas big target, 6'3", 210-pound junior from Walker, Louisiana, still being tended to on the sideline.
And Coach Ricky Ronnie telling us this week, Keith, about, you know, his program and where it's located there in Norfolk, Virginia, and, you know, just so many great high schools around there. And, you know, still at a stage in college athletics and certainly the sport of football. And he says, you know, you want to be a development program. And I think that's the mission of both of these head coaches. And that's a good sign that Ja'Cory Thomas is up. But
yeah, that's Coach Ronnie came all the way across the field to check on his star wideout. But yeah, that Tidewater area, beautiful area, football hotbed. And Old Dominion in a very short period of time has proven themselves to be a really good program.
And, you know, they revamped the stadium there, and it is a sight to behold. And you are in that area, and of course there's a lot of people in that area with Hampton Roads and
Outer Banks not far away.
And you know, you want to stay close to home and play some big time football. It's certainly a place to do it.
2nd and 10 now. There's the give inside, and the Herd defense is hanging on. Gain of 5 yards for Traquan Jones.
Run for the Monarchs.
Coach Ronnie did say, though, they recruit all of Virginia, not just that area. And then, of course, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Maryland. He said, one place we're not having much luck, though, is West Virginia.
1 for 7 on 3rd down is Old Dominion. They've got to get to the 35 to keep the drive going. Joseph fakes the give. Now he's going to throw it. Wanted to drop it off. Now he's being chased, and he will not get to the sticks, just about a yard shy. Daryl Sweeting over there in pursuit.
Yeah, an excellent play by Sweeting. A little spin move by Paul Hudson III. He was on that edge there. It looks like they're going for it.
Let's see if they're going to try to jump. No, they just want to hand it off, and I don't think they got there. It looks a little short. Caleb Clark, Glover, and the rest of the defense celebrating another 4th down stop.
Well, you are trailing by 28. Under 5 to go here in the 3rd. Short distance, and you got to make something happen. And you just were unable to do it. And a great job there by Caleb Clark Glover.
Incredible play as he kept his eyes on the quarterback, Joseph, and the back. 5'9", 184-pound redshirt sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio, makes another big play for the Herd defense.
We've talked about, you know, turnovers today. Marshall has certainly gotten its share, but also just stops here today.
Herd sets up offense now at the 34-yard line. Del Rio Wilson gives to Antoine Roberts. He's trying to get outside. There's a flag, so that's probably coming back. Good yardage.
Roberts, the carry, flag on the play.
And the Herd all of a sudden's got some penalty-itis.
Holding. Offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty. It's 1st down.
You can hear the crowd, Mark. Some of that is not good TV for
I just
family
I need to go get a shot for that penalty-itis. That time of year we're supposed to get flu shots.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe, huh? And all kidding aside, Coach Gibson, that's going to drive him crazy. They got the ball in really good field position. Now it's 1st and 20. Del Rio Wilson keeps it, gets a good block up front, and he gets good yardage almost to the initial line of scrimmage. Jordan Saunders on the stop.
Well, and kids are out there, they're straining, they're playing, you know, as hard as they can, but at the same time, you're always, you know, pushing your guys to, you know, keep the edge. Now, Del Rio Wilson, he's having trouble getting off the field. So when he got tackled, not sure what, but he tried to make it off and he couldn't. He goes down. It was a great run by the Marshall quarterback. Tackled him around the ankles there.
So Ja'Kai Long is temporarily taking snaps, but Del Rio Wilson gets up. A little worse for the wear. Greeted by Coach Gibson. And the way he's been playing, they don't want to get him hurt, obviously.
Kind of seems like maybe he's holding his side.
Yeah, like maybe he landed awkwardly on somebody's foot.
Well, Ja'Kai Long will step in there for the moment. Grew up not far from here, Hurricane, West Virginia. And his dad, Gerald, was a player here as a wide receiver. That would have been a pretty good tandem, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Ja'Kai and Gerald. Ja'Kai started in the Georgia game. His first start as a football player.
Yeah.
The last time had been a high school football
How about
playoff
that?
game.
Hey, Ja'Kai, we're going to need you to start against Georgia.
Yeah, it was Parkersburg, the Big Reds. It was a red and white team, but it was the Georgia Bulldogs next time around.
Long takes the snap and hands it off. Xavion Turner Bradshaw gets 3 or 4 yards. Set up a manageable third down.
Bradshaw with the carry. Takes the ball down to about the 31. Gain of 4.
Keyshawn Thomas on the stop.
Keyshawn Thomas makes the stop. It is 3rd down and 7 for the Herd at the 31.
So 3rd and 7 for Ja'Kai Long. As Mark mentioned, from Hurricane, 6'2", 205-pound red shirt, freshman. We'll see if they throw it or just be content to keep it on the ground. Well, now there's nobody in the backfield. Long slings it inside to Norton. Norton spins free for a minute, but gets down to about the 28-yard line, which means it'll be Lorcan Quinn time.
Ball down to the 28. 4th down.
And Norton had that outstanding season at Akron, 2nd team All-MAC. 43 catches. That one couldn't get the first down, so it's time for another field goal attempt here.
46-yard field goal.
It'll be a 46-yarder. Nathan Totten is the holder. Sets it down. Quinn, plenty of leg, and he kicks it through. Lorcan Quinn. Boots it through, and the Irishman celebrates with his teammates.
Well, you got that stop on 4th down, and you were able to turn it into points when all is said and done, and you build that lead here against the Monarchs.
You know, as we talked with Coach Gibson this week, Mark, he said it's going to take, if we can get 3 turnovers, he's saying we, of course, he said if we can get 3 turnovers and get some stops and make them go 3 and out a few times, they've gone 4 and out on some really critical plays. So Coach Gibson's theory of what it would take to win here against a really good ODU squad is coming to fruition, at least here in the 3rd quarter with 2 minutes to go. Four turnovers, 3 4th down stops, and another kick through the end zone.
He was out of bounds.
Well, the game far from over, but Marshall has scored 92 points in its last 2 outings. Of course, one of those went double overtime, but still a lot of time to go here. And, well, if you are Ricky Ronnie and company, you just come back out there and swing away. And they went for that 4th down play, needing something to happen, and it's unfortunate they could not produce and get that fresh set of downs. And Marshall took over, and it results in another Lorcan Quinn field goal.
Yeah, this is a team that really, except Indiana, which held them somewhat in check in that 27-14 win, no one's been able to stop this team. And the Herd's done a good job through 3 quarters. Keeping it on the ground here. And that's Keytravian Hargrove. On the tackle was Jabril El-Amin. Gain of about a yard.
Old Dominion coming in here again, the best start since becoming an FBS school, 5-0 in 2012.
Joseph wants to throw. Gilmore is pursuing. And he finds his wide out, Ja'Cory Thomas. Be about 3 yards shy of the first down.
And I see Thomas back out there after taking that big hit where he landed hard on the turf here at Jones-Edwards Stadium.
Just 1 for 8 on third down, and here comes a blitz, and they've got him, and they take him down at the 17-yard line. Javay Gilmore.
When talking with Tony Gibson about some of the guys who really jumped out at him defensively, and again, they talked about, well, you know, not playing as consistent as you want, but there were some guys that he was really happy with, and this is one of those guys right here, the transfer from Mississippi State.
And you know, Shannon Morrison and Coach Gibson knew they have to pick their spots when you're going to blitz this guy, and that one was a perfect call. Kick is away. Fair catch called for and made at the 38-yard line by Floyd Lacey.
Nice grab there by Lacey. Gilmore played in 24 games at Mississippi State. Less than a minute to go here in the third, and Marshall up by 31. You know, 2 physical teams, and it's kind of neat, Keith, the strength coach situation of these 2 programs. Marshall's Dwight Galt IV. He was at Old Dominion from 2019 through 2021. And then you have Chad Snodgrass, the strength coach at Old Dominion, and he grew up right here in the area, and he was with Tony Gibson when Tony was in Morgantown with the Mountaineer football program at West Virginia.
1st and 10 for the Herd, keeping it on the ground. That's Antoine Roberts on the call. Had that earlier touchdown. Gets about 2 yards. Rod Smith just going to play it close to the vest here as we get ready to end the third quarter. His offense clicking this afternoon, up 41-10. Tony Mathis now in the backfield. Herd's going to have to snap it before the end of the quarter. And there's Mathis with it. He's got a hole and some blocking. Gets it up to the 45-yard line.
Tony Mathis, the carry for Marshall, takes the ball up to the 45.
That's the end of the third quarter.
And that brings us to the end of the third quarter. And the crowd rising up in appreciation of their Thundering Herd, up 41-10 as we head to the fourth. Back in Huntington, West Virginia for the fourth quarter. Marshall leads at 41-10. Next 5 for the Herd, home with Texas State on homecoming. Then they go to Coastal. JMU comes here, then to Atlanta to take on Georgia State, and on to Boone, North Carolina. Third down, Carlos Del Rio Wilson looking deep. Kind of threw his receiver out of bounds there as he was trying to deliver.
Downfield intended for Jacoby Baldwin.
Look for Jacoby Baldwin, his wide out.
You look at that Marshall player down. You look at that upcoming Thundering Herd schedule, and of course they'll play next Saturday, and then they got a couple more Saturdays off there back to back because they got the Coastal game, and then
which is a Thursday, right?
Then the calendar flips there on the first day of November is a Saturday, and they won't have a game that day. So as grinding and grueling maybe as the first part was there, you know, had that last Saturday in Georgia, and then you were busy in September, and 3 of the first 5 on the road for the Herd. It's Lacey down, Keith.
Yeah, I'm not obviously a medical expert. Looks like it may have been a cramp, but we'll see. He's needing a little bit of help as he walks across the field.
Well, this kid plays so very hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one speed. You're getting a little bit of help.
Yeah, seems to have a little better gait now as he heads to the sideline. But Lacey's been incredible for the Herd this year.
He was the guy we talked about at the outset. And there's what he has put together today in the receiving department as Totten's going to come on and kick it away for Marshall.
Fifth punt rather, for Totten. And if he came across on special teams, that'd be a first down. And indeed it is, as the offense is coming back on the field. Special teams play has not been stellar for the Monarchs this afternoon.
Yeah, it's just one of those.
Offside with contact, defense, number 13. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Frustrating for Coach Ronnie's team, and we need that ball back in the worst way. I mean, almost a full quarter to go here, and you make anything happen here, you need the football, and unfortunately they give it right back to Marshall.
Yeah, that's just needless. I'm sure that maybe they had the block on, but you certainly don't want to give them the ball back. 6th penalty of the game for the Monarchs as Marshall takes back over just on their side of midfield. 1st and 10 for Carlos Del Rio Wilson. Bradshaw in motion. They fake it to him, give it up inside. Roberts gets a couple of yards into Old Dominion territory. Stop made by Seth Nalatola.
Roberts getting his 8th carry of the day. He's 2nd in yardage at the moment behind Del Rio Wilson. He's not that far off from going over the century mark.
Yeah, I'm not sure they'll have him carry it a lot after he came up a little gimpy on that one run. Such a physical guy. Tony Gibson says sometimes I got to get him to back off. He goes full bore. 2nd and 8 for the Herd. Roberts gets it again. Powers down to the 44-yard line.
Antoine Roberts takes the ball to the 45, a gain of 3.
Chris Trinidad on the stop.
We mentioned it earlier, the offensive front for Marshall. A lot of times those guys, they just don't get enough credit. And think about Eric Meeks, the center. You know, you're coming out there each time. You get the ball in your hands, you got to get it back, and he's had clean snap after clean snap after clean snap. His one start last year was against Old Dominion, and he's played outstanding football this season.
Herd 4 for 12 on 3rd downs this afternoon. Need the 40 to keep the drive going. Well, there I'm wrong. Del Rio Wilson with it again, and he is smothered. Trinidad on the stop again.
Yeah, you kind of think the only way he's going to run is if he's just in trouble, and he certainly was there. They closed it down quickly on the Thundering Herd quarterback.
Well, Coach Gibson's got to have a lot of faith in his defense the way they played today. So a punt not necessarily a bad thing for him as the Herd up 41-10. Roche is back at his 10-yard line to receive the punt from Nathan Totten. High kick. Roche, fair catch at the 10-yard line.
Roche fields the punt at the 10.
So the Herd trying to finish this one up over Old Dominion, leading by 31. We're back to Huntington after this. So the Monarchs will take over offensively, looking at a big hole here in Huntington, 41-10. Their next 5, they go to JMU, the Harrisonburg. Then they've got App State at home, to UL Monroe, home to the Trojans, and then on the road to Georgia Southern.
And James Madison had a big win today, Keith. They're at home in Harrisonburg over Louisiana, that team that defeated Marshall in double overtime. Rallied in that one.
Just watching the results, Mark, of the first couple of weeks, this is a wide open Sun Belt.
Indeed it is.
Joseph sends James in motion. Now he's being pursued by the Marshall defense, and they run him out of bounds.
It's an Old Dominion football team, Keith, that has scored 45 or more 3 times this season. And a 54-point outburst against NC Central. 45 they put up against Virginia Tech.
Ball was down. Joseph couldn't get it. He was fumbling for it like when you drop your keys and you're reaching down between the seat to get it. Javay Gilmore was providing the coverage there inside.
I think that's happened to you a few times.
Oh, yeah. I've been looking all over. 1 of 9 on third down. The Monarchs want to throw it, and it is intercepted. The Herd has picked it off. Daquan Smith comes away with it.
On the field is an interception. First down, Washington.
Intended receiver was T.J. Johnson. He got up a little slow. They're checking him out on the field, and boy, what a play by Daquan Smith. Beautiful. Redshirt junior.
So that's 2 interceptions on the afternoon for Colton Joseph, who had only thrown 4 all season. Daquan Smith looking for that dog bone they give you over there.
We'll look at it here. Not the easiest play in the world to make, but he did it.
Marvin Myers was there too. Daquan Smith with an incredible interception. Marshall now at the 22-yard line. Del Rio Wilson up the middle, hurdles a defender. Pays the price for it.
Del Rio Wilson with the carry.
What did we say, Keith? We might not see him anymore.
He was supposed to back off, right?
I'll tell you what, now he just going and then a big hit after he hurdles the guy.
Antala with the stop. 2nd and 3.
And what taking him on there was Easterly.
Gain of 6. Maybe a free play for the Herd. They're going to the end zone. Tamarez out there, but out of bounds again. But I believe the Monarchs may have jumped on defense.
Pass intended for Tamarez, incomplete, out of bounds. Flag on the play.
Offside. Defense in the neutral zone, snap number 36. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Five turnovers for Old Dominion here this afternoon, and Marshall has capitalized on virtually every miscue.
1st and 10 for Marshall.
1st and 10 for the Herd. Right at the 10-yard line. Toby Payne in motion. Run up the middle, and he kicks it outside. Roberts makes something out of nothing, gets down to the 6-yard line.
Again, just never give up there. There was nowhere to go, and just bounce it to the outside and collect 4 yards on the play. Old Dominion, 619 total yards. You get another look there at Roberts in that Coastal Carolina victory. Coastal had 189 yards, so 430-yard difference. That was the largest difference between total yards in ODU history, the 4th largest margin between Sun Belt members. I mean, what a game that was, but today Marshall has done a really nice job keeping ODU in check.
2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. Turner Bradshaw in motion, and nothing doing for Carlos Del Rio Wilson as DeAndre Lynch met him at the line of scrimmage.
ODU's got the football, but it's going to come
Running on the field to run progress was stopped prior to the ball becoming loose. 3rd down.
Brandon Crutchfield had it. Sophomore out of Wake Forest, North Carolina.
So 3rd down and goal to go from the 5-yard line. No, I stand corrected. It looks like they can get a first down. Chain at the 1-yard line.
Tony Gibson's wanting a timeout.
Yeah, he is.
Timeout. Marshall. Their first. 30-second timeout.
Mark, you talked about that ODU output last week. Only 4 teams in the country this year have run for more than 300 yards and passed for more than 300 in a single game. And ODU is one of them against Coastal.
Yeah, I mean, those were just staggering numbers. Well, Marshall wants to talk it over here. Coach Gibson Not sure if he maybe run sprints with the team during the week. He sprinted a few times today to get timeouts called. And, you know, there was a big timeout called, you know, back there in the first half that resulted in Marshall getting a stop.
And as we look at this Marshall offense, ODU only gives up 314 yards a game, and Marshall right now has 435. So their defense has been as impressive as their offense, but the Herd with all the answers here this afternoon. Antoine Roberts alongside Carlos Del Rio Wilson. Roberts takes it inside the 5, down to the 2, where they'll need one more yard.
Antoine Roberts gets it down to the 2-yard line.
See what Tony Gibson decides to do here.
And again, you just want to be productive. You don't want to be sloppy. You play hard. You just keep fighting. It's the same message to ODU. You're in a tough spot. And, you know, you're going to be in games where it's going to be tight games. And Old Dominion's had a lot of tight games down through the last few seasons, and in a situation like this could be a tight game stop you're trying to make.
Well, with 3rd and 1, they didn't decide to go for the field goal. They just want to see if they can run it in, but Del Rio Wilson wants to pass it. Now he's headed to the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Thundering Herd. Two rushing touchdowns, 2 touchdown throws. What an afternoon for Carlos Del Rio Wilson.
Shaking up there earlier in the game, was out for a few, and right back at it. There's another look. Just slipped away from one defender. That was Jordan Saunders.
Went on to attempt the extra point.
An injured player for ODU, but is heading off on his own power. It was DeAndre Lynch, nose tackle.
So Lorcan Quinn on to make it a 48-10 ball game. And his kick is up and good. So the Herd quarterback, Carlos Del Rio Wilson, lowers his head, goes in for another touchdown as Marshall's putting this one to bed here in Huntington, West Virginia. Back after this. 9:07 to go in the fourth quarter as Marshall nearly putting 50 up on Old Dominion, 48-10 here in Huntington, West Virginia. And this has been a story of turnovers and the Herd capitalizing. 5 total for Old Dominion. Marshall has been flawless, not giving up the ball. And you also, Mark, count those 2 stops, which was
those were huge.
on 4th down.
And the one, to start the game, that really, I feel like, really energized the Herd and propelled them to what right now is a huge lead.
And Quinn just continues to be a weapon on those kickoffs.
Well, the extra point, he kicked it on top of the Shuey Building roof. And, you think it's an operation. Football is an operation. All athletic teams are an operation, and everyone has an important role. And you got equipment guys and managers and ball boys, and the ball boy's got to run into the Shuey Building, and he's got to go up the stairs to the second level, and then he's got to climb up a ladder and get on top of the roof and get the football, and he retrieved it and he fired a strike down to another ball boy on the sidelines.
It was a beautiful pass. If we had tape on it, we'd show you the replay, but it was well done. 1st and 10 now for Joseph, going to keep it on the ground. Marshall's defense has been stingy against the run, to say the least.
James with the carry.
117 yards on the ground so far.
But in all seriousness, the equipment people, you talk about workers.
All those people who give a lot of their time don't get a lot of credit, but they deserve it. And that's
James with the
Mark I. James. Mark I. James just keeping it, forging ahead for a couple of yards, so it's 3rd and 2.
Darius Clayton made the stop.
Joseph fakes it. Now he's got time, and he's just going to throw it out into the flat. That's a 1st down. Ridden out of bounds.
Colton Joseph's pass
is the tight end. I'm sorry. Dawson Johnson on the catch.
1st and 10 at the 44 for Old Dominion.
Joseph wants to throw it again. And that's picked off, or nearly, and Boogie Trotter almost had another one. He saw the end zone. I think his eyes got big, Mark.
There's possibly
for the Marshall defense
a weekly award, maybe awaiting Trotter. And if he'd have snagged that one, definitely.
You think he could already start the engraving, right? Yeah, he's among the national leaders in interceptions, and that one, he would want that one back. Big hit on 1st down.
Yeah, he's going to think about that one more than the ones that he did grab.
To the 47.
Marshall rolling in a lot of new players.
Just 2 of 11 on 3rd down is Old Dominion.
Timeout. Marshall. That's their 2nd. 30 seconds.
Yeah, you do see some new numbers in there on defense for the Thundering Herd. Chase and Clark, and let's take a look at that last play. This was what Marshall's defense has brought here this afternoon. James being held up by Chase and Clark, and Cam Smith delivers the finishing blow.
Yeah, you set it up for that guy, number 0 for Marshall, and whoever's got that football in his hands going to pay a heavy price. But Chase and Clark, one of those new guys being rolled in there.
Mark, this is a team that has rushed for more than 200 yards every game this season. And Marshall's defense so far has held them to 128. Third down, 7 to go. Back goes in motion. Hargrove, and now Joseph leaves the pocket and finds his man. That's Gladding. Nice throw, nice catch. And Gladding is out of bounds at the 7-yard line.
Yeah, he never stopped, but yeah, they got him out. But there kind of illustrates what this young man at quarterback for Old Dominion is all about. I mean, he never stopped on this place, never easy, rolling to your left.
Waited for Gladding to get open and did a great job of occupying him. Hargrove goes inside, down to the 4-yard line. Caleb Clark Glover on the stop. Here comes Joseph, and he'll walk into the end zone. Colton Joseph, touchdown.
With the keeper, a touchdown for the Monarchs.
And it may seem like insignificant, but for Ricky Ronnie and his team, that's a positive. You took it downfield and you scored. Nobody's quitting. Nobody's hanging their heads.
Yeah, you just keep
There's a
at
lot
it.
of play left here.
Yeah,
in
you
this
just
conference.
keep at it, and again, you battle in these games. Large lead, you're down. Doesn't matter. You are playing as if that game is all even on the scoreboard.
Riley Callahan on for the extra point. And he kicks it through. Colton Joseph doing Colton Joseph things here, but it may be a little too late as the Herd still leads it 48-17 here at Edwards Stadium. You're watching some plus in attendance on a beautiful afternoon for football on Pink Out Day. So the Herd, a little bit of a hands team over there, Mark, just in case, as ODU may onside it. That's what they do. And they chase it down. Ball goes out of bounds, but
yeah, the chase was on for that football. And again, in a situation like this, you know, you're working on everything and you want to get that ball back, but you know, nothing more difficult to convert in the game of football. The onside kick. A good bounce there, but Marshall able to run it down. I believe it was
right on the field as the receiving team recovered the kick and then fumbled the ball out of bounds. First down, Marshall.
So the Herd will have it. Ja'Kai Long now in at quarterback. The day is over for Carlos Del Rio Wilson. And what an afternoon he had. 95 yards rushing, 219 yards passing, 2 touchdown passes, 2 touchdown runs.
You see Marshall President Brad Smith there and enjoying the afternoon. Big week ahead with homecoming here in Huntington.
Herd going to keep it on the ground. That's Roberts pounding it down into Old Dominion territory. And that seems like also, Mark, the game plan for Rod Smith and the offense. They really kept the ball away from Colton Joseph in that dangerous offense. Their run game has been really effective. 219 yards on the ground for the Herd.
Yeah, they just, you know, they got into a rhythm, and well, you can get into a rhythm, and then the defense getting you the ball back and making stops, and you know, one complements the other.
Yeah, the pick six. I mean, that was a big emotional turn for the Herd as they really kind of controlled the game almost from the get-go. Roberts again, this time snuffed out, loss of a couple of yards.
Antoine Roberts stopped for a loss.
You know, you find programs around the country, the legacies, and certainly some here on this Marshall football program. Long is one of those. Mentioned Bradshaw earlier.
Third down, 6 to go. Long going to keep it himself. So got some room on the left side. Picks up close to first down yards, but there's a flag, so that's probably coming back.
With the carry, flag on the play.
Holding. Offense, number 85. 10-yard penalty. It's third down.
Ricky Ronnie and his Monarchs team on the ESPN analytics of chances of making the college football playoff coming into this game was 20%. I mean, they have been that good this year, but Marshall just had the game plan and really came out and took it to the Monarchs this afternoon.
Well, you go on the road and you got to have a lot of things go right, and again, go back to that big stop early on, fourth down.
Third and 15. Herd just keeps it on the ground. That'll be fourth down.
And all the guys that are out there now, whether it be on Marshall's side or Old Dominion side, it's just a
Timeout. Old Dominion. Third 31st. 30-second timeout.
It's just a great feeling to get out there on the field and run around and, you know, be a player and get the chance to get the reps, get the chance to make a play. I mean, you work and you work, and you are in that building down to your left or back in Norfolk, and you know, a building just like the Shuey building, and you spend more time there than you really do out on the field.
Yeah, you do. And Ricky Ronnie made that point. We said, what's made you guys so good this year? And he basically said they love playing football, not just on Saturdays,
right,
but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And this group will rebound. There's no question. They're too good, too explosive not to come back from this. But this was a stunner across the Sun Belt Conference today. Totten, a high, short kick, but it chases Gladding back inside his 10, and the ball goes into the end zone.
And it was really nice having Commissioner Gill here on this beautiful weekend. What a classy guy, and a great job he has done with this conference. Because as we know, Keith, in the world of college athletics, it is ever changing. And it's challenging for the players, it's challenging for the coaches, the athletic directors, and certainly the conference commissioners.
Well, we talked with both coaches, Mark, this week about the transfer portal, that new window, that just one window now in January that goes from the 2nd to the 16th. And both coaches said, I just want rules, and I want the rules to stay the same.
Ricky Ronnie said, how about 2 years in a row?
Yeah, 2 years in a row. And Coach Gibson said, I wish that window existed last year when he took the job. Said it may have convinced some of those hurt players who transferred to stay around.
Gains 15 after the 35, first down.
I'd like to take a minute to thank the media relations people from both teams. Eric Bohannon from Old Dominion, Grant Traylor from Marshall. Couldn't do this, what we do up in the booth, without their help.
Yeah, two of the very best, and they're great staffs.
James with the carry, 5 yards on
two of
that
the
carry, up to the 40,
all-time great
2nd and 5.
Radio play-by-play guys in this game. Steve Cotton for Marshall and Ted Alexander for Old Dominion.
Yeah,
those guys are terrific.
Both schools lucky to have those guys. Joseph wants to throw, delivers over the middle. It's a strike.
When we talk about facilities, Keith, I don't know for that arena that Old Dominion has for basketball.
Oh, beautiful.
Gilmore on the stop. 1st and 10 at the 49.
ODU still at it. That's Markai James.
Markai James.
8 yards.
Stop by Cam Smith.
And James entered the day, 108 yards on the ground, had a touchdown, and an 80-yard TD reception last week.
James again gets first down yardage.
Takes it to the 38.
As we dive in under 3:20 to go.
Well, it's been a long 2 weeks for Marshall, 2 weeks to the day, and you're getting on a plane and leaving Lafayette, Louisiana, having lost a heartbreaking double overtime game after having the 17-point advantage.
Well, that's what Coach Gibson said as they run it on first down. He said you can take that 2 ways. You can sit around and pout, or you can fix what you did wrong and get some guys healthy and come out and play like this. And that's exactly what the Herd did, coming off a tough loss in overtime. Joseph got all kinds of time back there. Now he's asking his receivers to fan out, but that one's incomplete.
It'll be fun to, continue to watch Joseph as the season goes along. I mean, what a great story he is. They found him in California, and what was it, Coach Ronnie said, you go anywhere to find a quarterback, but quarterbacks are also looking. They'll go anywhere because they want to play.
I asked him if it was a remember the Titans kind of deal, go out to quarterback and get a Hollywood guy. But
he quoted what Have Gun Will Travel, the old Richard Boone TV series.
Really just recruited by the service academies was Joseph, and both quarterbacks, Del Rio Wilson and Joseph, man, these teams have tremendous leaders as they look down the rest of the 2025 season. Joseph, plenty of time. Over the middle, delivers a strike, first down yardage.
Pass is complete to
Keytravion.
2-minute timeout.
Hargrove on the catch. So that's a 2-minute timeout as Marshall put the finishing touches on this emphatic win over Old Dominion, as the Monarchs not giving up just yet. We'll be back after this. Martin with you as we're just looking to set the final score here. 1st and 10 for Old Dominion. Joseph fakes the handoff. Now he's going to the end zone. Nobody there but some Herd defenders. Caleb Clark Glover out there.
2nd and 10 after 25.
What a performance by this Marshall defense against a quarterback who will make a lot of teams look silly, already has this year. But they came to play here this afternoon. A swing pass to the outside. Nice run after the catch. That's Gladding.
Joseph's pass.
You're talking about Colton Joseph and all the service academies wanting him, but he did go to a place that's got the largest naval base in the world in that
it's 3rd down 2.
Norfolk area, just a few minutes from the ODU campus.
3rd down, 2 to go. And he swings it out. Caught. And that's Hargrove fighting his way down to the 5-yard line.
Braden Ward finished him off there. I'll tell you what, you drive through there in Norfolk, you go under
the Bay Bridge Tunnel.
Oh my goodness, that'll take your breath away.
At 5 for Old Dominion.
And Thomas. The Boogie Trotter's asking for. It gets down to the 1-yard line as Joseph delivers a shot, but Boogie Trotter complaining to the official to no avail.
You get 2 Marshall players down, and Keith, the guy who came over there now, he's up. And I mean, you know, it doesn't matter. It's the first play of the game, last play of the game. Your team's Cam Smith. I mean, there he is making a touchdown saving tackle. He said, not on my watch.
No, you know, the defense has played so well. They'd love to keep them out of the end zone. It'll be immaterial, but for a defense that's proud and certainly should be of its effort today, they'd rather not have the Monarchs score. On the other side, Colton Joseph says, let's get in here.
Look at Cam Smith right there.
Old Dominion has declined the 10-second runoff due to the defensive injury. The game clock will start on the snap.
So 2nd down. Goal to go here from the 1. Might it be another Joseph keeper? Oh, he wants to throw it. And it was intended for T.J. Johnson, but just out of the end zone.
Yeah, the pressure came and to release it.
2nd and goal at the 1.
Offside. Defense, number 2, lined up in the neutral zone at the snap. At the distance to the goal, it's 2nd down.
It's Darrell Sweeting, the Temple transfer.
There's the give, and there is the touchdown. Mark-I James takes it in from 1 yard out.
Yeah, nice hole over there on the left side of that offensive line for ODU. And this is the part of the film session that Ricky Ronnie and his staff will have with the team. Like, hey, you guys didn't quit. You kept fighting, and you just find positives wherever you can to build on the next game, because they've had a lot of positives happen to them this season, just not on this afternoon.
No doubt. And, you know, they could have folded their tents and said, we're headed back to Norfolk, but team kept fighting, and that's what you want in your football team. There's the kick, up and good. So Tony Gibson going to pick up his first Sun Belt win, Mark. And an impressive one. Not sure anybody around the league or in college football thought that Marshall would put 48 up on Old Dominion and hold them to 24.
A nice lane there for James to score and shave the deficit in half here. And next week, Old Dominion, they're going to stay on the road. JMU. This is the second straight.
Number 18 is now number 84 for Old Dominion.
This is the second straight game in which they played a team coming off of an open date.
Well, and you know, Coach Ronnie looked at that schedule and, man, what, you got to go to Huntington and Harrisonburg back-to-back? That's tough, no matter how good your team is.
And we have the Hands team once more here.
And will it go 10? It does, and Boogie Trotter picks it out of the air like he did that interception earlier in the day.
Yeah, what a game that young man has had here today for Marshall.
Just exudes confidence. What a personality he has.
Well, first-year head coach, you're looking for all those firsts. And next week, Tony Gibson will gun for a first homecoming victory as Marshall's football leader. Pride of Van, West Virginia.
Texas State Bobcats coming to Huntington.
Yeah, first ever visit for them, right?
Mm-hmm. But this is one they'll savor for an evening for sure. Hurd in the victory formation. Offensive coordinator's most favorite play.
It's Del Rio Wilson out there in the victory formation. He said, hey, can I just finish this off?
Guarantee he went to Coach Gibson and said, let me back in, Coach. I like victory formations. And he deserves it after the day he had. Continues to impress. First game as a starter, they scored 38, then 42, then 51, and now 48 in his 4 starts.
Del Rio Wilson takes a knee.
And that'll put a bow on this one as Marshall resoundingly takes care of Old Dominion, a team on a 4-game win streak and a team many were calling the cream of the crop in the Sun Belt early on, and they are really good, but the Herd was better on this afternoon.
Yeah, the fireworks go off. President Brad Smith enjoying the moment, as are all the fans here in Huntington, as Marshall has gotten its record even at 3-3. Old Dominion drops to 4-2.
Both teams now 1-1 in Sun Belt play, and this was one Tony Gibson took personally. Was embarrassed and said so after that Louisiana game on defense. They were not really able to stop the Ragin' Cajuns, but that was a whole different defense we saw out there this afternoon.
Yeah, that Marshall defense got that 4th down stop early on in the game. You had the pick 6 by Boogie Trotter. Your offense with a lot of productivity today, but again, you got those turnovers and you kept a potent ODU offense in check most of the afternoon. You come away with this 48-24 decision.
No doubt this is one they can build on, and ODU certainly will rebound. I mean, they've got a tough one next week, but the guys who got them this far are still over there, still explosive. It was just Marshall's day here at Edwards Stadium.
It's on 3rd Avenue in front of Pullman Square. A chance to meet the Marshall men's and women's basketball team and get
ready to head out of Edwards Stadium as Marshall's Thundering Herd takes care of Old Dominion. We want to thank everybody, producer Stephen Lucas, and thanks to our spotter Charlie Hagley, Ben Westfall on the sidelines, and Mark Martin. And for them, I'm Keith Morehouse from Huntington, West Virginia. Final score, 48-24. Marshall takes care of Old Dominion. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app.